Carbon Cub FX2 against Rick Boardman on the outside lane, lane 2. That's an aggressive slip Rick Boardman's throwing in there to try and get him slowed down. You'll see the flaps come in, using that for air braking, the side of the aircraft in the slip, and the flaps for air braking. Getting on the ground, the turnaround on this, it can be won or lost in the turnaround. Rick Boardman, a veteran to this sport. Kathy Page, also a veteran to this sport. Running about equivalent aircraft. He's running the 2015 Carbon Cub. Carbon Cub, or Cub Crafters, who manufactures these aircraft, are our sponsor, one of our main sponsors for the show. And it looks like we had a scratch. I'm waiting on the lane call for that one to see if this will count. Carbon Cub SS against Michael Goulian, a pretty famous name you guys may be familiar with here in this circuit of aerobatics and a number of other aviation endeavors. Michael Goulian is flying a 2013 Cup Crafters SS as they line up waiting for the call to be released on this 2,000-foot runway. And they're off. Getting off the ground is not necessarily their goal. The goal is to get to the other end, stop, turn around, and return. So getting off the ground first does not really mean a whole lot as far as what the end time will be. Some pilots prefer to get off the ground quick. Some prefer to stay on the ground longer. They just want to get the least amount of drag. They want to slow down as much as they can. He's a rookie in this sport, but certainly not to aviation. And getting on the brakes really hard in this kind of an aircraft after coming from aerobatic aircraft is certainly a big challenge for him, for the fear of flipping over like you would often do in an aerobatic aircraft. So he's going up against a pretty knowledgeable veteran, Colin Kaniba. He's got to be really 19 years old. He's actually 20, but he wants to make sure everybody knows he's 20. I'm still going to call him 19. He's just about ready to turn his 3,000th flight hour at 20 years old. He's type rated in jets, helicopters, seaplanes, flying backcountry planes, you name it. He's been doing it. He's born and raised in the cockpit, flying his Aviat Husky A1A, sponsored by McFarlane, running an MT propeller, which has beta or reversible prop on him, so he could use that as air braking. And he's going up against the world champion for 2022 and the national champion in traditional. You can see this 300 horsepower snowmobile engine on Steve Henry's just pulling away. Austin Clemens on the outside, lane 2, is not a slow aircraft. He's just being outclassed by Steve. Steve is outclassing the whole field right now, so you'll see that many of these will get head starts. Looks like he didn't want to take the head start this time. Want to see how he lined up against him. Looks like Steve taking his time, turning around, and on. That sound you hear here different. That is a 3-cylinder Yamaha snowmobile engine. It's turbocharged. Has planes weighing at about 850 pounds. As Austin Clemens is weighing 2250 on his plane as he comes in. Quite a bit heavier, but he does have beta. And you can see how quickly Austin can stop his plane. These gentlemen are veterans to both traditional STOL and STOL drag. Hearing those engines rev up, and they are off. Looks like Brian Steck on the outside lane has gotten up a little sooner, but Jeff Pohl is pulling him. But remember, Brian Steck on the outside lane does have the ability to use his reversible prop, so watch this brake distance. Watch how he hits the ground and stops. Look at that, in half the time. There's his big advantage. He's already on the turnaround as Jeff Pohl is still trying to get going around. Back off, and just like that, it's won and lost in the turnaround, assuming that Brian Steck can keep her straight and not scratch, we'll have a good race here. All good on the turn, so this score will count. As his competitor had to bow out, was not able to make it today, so he will be on his own this time. Bruce Graham, an amazing individual, climbed Mount Everest in 2019, donated part of his liver in 2020, and then came back and decided to donate a kidney in 2021. He says it's not. He's got a stall speed of 38 miles per hour as well. Out of Castle Rock, Colorado, here he goes. You'll see the bigger bush wheels with Bruce Graham. Typically, when these planes are in the backcountry, you'll see the use of these larger bush wheels. What that does is it adds additional suspension when they're landing in unfamiliar territory. They can take up rocks and logs without damaging the airplane or flipping them over. The things work as great suspension, the big tires. But often in these places, you'll see the smaller tires being used because of the lever action of the mechanical advantage of the bigger tires really is tough on the brakes. You get to the smaller tires and the brakes become a lot more effective. So lined up with the other aircraft as well, so even though there's nobody in the lane next to him, his time will count and they will spin it up according to how the payout and the rings are. Information that Steve Henry broke in the history of STOL drag. And if things go well today and this wind dies down, not fighting a crosswind, there's a possibility that today he could break that 50-second mark. All right, now we have up Ty Burlington in the red wagon in lane 1, number 20 in the 1967 Cessna 180. This is the heaviest aircraft in the entire field. Lots of people fly 180s for a variety of different reasons. He's out here from Woodburn, Oregon, also one of the furthest traveling. He has a launch off the line weighing in at 1855. So this plane is more than double the weight on the inside line, but he's also got double the horsepower. So let's see how this plays out. Aaron Greer on the outside lane, veteran to STOL drag, one of the youngest competitors and least experienced when he first started, just barely made enough hours to be able to get into the competition, and he has been flying competition since he first started flying at all. Just got a license in helicopter as well, so he is doing the rotor wing. They are equal on the turnaround. Ty Burlington looks like he got a little squirrely on that turnaround. And the advantage for Aaron was flying his own game and not going long, which means he has only half the distance to cover back up to that start-finish line as he returns. If he can outbrake Ty, he will be able to pull away with this win. Heaviest aircraft against one of the lightest. Let's see here how this braking goes. We are looking for the red flag, and it looks to me like Aaron might have got that on the outside lane in his Highlander. I cannot say for sure. You folks down there closer to that finish line have a better vantage point than I do. 180 stopped in an impressive distance. Next we have Harry Beaupre, number 27, in the Spirit of Lewis. Stickers to the kids. I see some kids out there that might want some stickers. Could you guys wave it to us up here? You want some stickers? Oh, there they are. Look at all those hands. Outstanding. You guys come visit us today about 2:30. We'll get you some stickers, be able to let you touch the planes, talk to the pilots, answer any questions, or have any questions you have answered. That would be great. They'd love to see you. Everybody's very, very personable, and the pits are always open as long as there's no props turning, and our pits are cold, so we'll be good after about 2:30 today. So please, come on over to the right of the stage. Hal is the dealer of those. There he goes. So you're going to listen to the sound change of the engine. The RPM should pop up now as he flattens his blades out.
Otherwise, you would feel like a super loud. Yeah, that's right.
And Hal is definitely going to be able to outbrake Dave Curley on the outside lane because of that beta, being able to reverse that prop, become a fan.
I'm done.
There he goes, turning around.
This is 22.
Good turns both ways, so this will count. Everything is on track.
This is 22, right?
It is Hal's race to lose at this point.
Yeah, they added
On the menu?
2022 Zenith 750 STOL. STOL, again, short takeoff and landing.
All right, we are cleared up the course, cleared down the course.
Yeah.
Timers. Justin, are you ready? Jeffro, are you ready? On the arm drop. 3, 2, 1, see ya!
And they are off. A much heavier aircraft out on the outside, but got a lot more power. Now, Jeff Whitley on the outside is not the fastest plane in the bunch, but he is the most impressive as far as spectators goes. He's got this incredible smoke machine. It could really blink everything out. At Reno one year, he just took out everybody in the stands. Nobody could see anything, and unfortunately, the wind wasn't blowing and it just sat there.
But I didn't like ever.
I'm going to Orange County.
This is a super modified Cessna 175. Coming up here, it's been converted to tail wheel. Originally, this did have a nose wheel. It has been converted. And Jeff Whitley's flying at 1,100 hours total time. Got his tail wheel endorsement in 2015. Now, for those folks who don't, I just got information that lane 1 was a scratch. So, son-in-law here to root him on for the first time, which is awesome. He's super excited about.
We are cleared up the course.
Kathy on the outside lane
On arrival.
has flown a Clipper for a number of years, flying in the backcountry of Idaho at altitude on backcountry airstrips, and they are off. Rick Boardman's got some modifications done to his plane to get a little bit more power. He is a crop duster, and Kathy Page is an airline pilot. So a little bit different backgrounds in this, but they both do backcountry. It's the one common theme that they have in life. Rick Boardman was able to slam it on and keep it as Kathy Page smokes her brakes. Look at all that smoke coming off there. Rick was able to get to the stop. Let's see if it was clean. Waiting for the judges.
Turns both lanes. Good turn. Good turn.
I believe those turns were good. These are both counting. Rick Boardman, very unique, using that pod underneath his aircraft. It doesn't seem to slow him down at all.
Excellent flying. Clear to taxi. Kathy, follow.
Back off the ground immediately as Austin's getting onto his turnaround. Good turns both lanes, so this will count. Now, although this is one of the fastest planes, or the fastest plane in STOL drag, he's still, Steve Henry tops out at 130 miles an hour. He won't go any faster than that, but he'll get that really tough thing to overcome. So Jeff's going to have to pull out all the tricks. Both of these veterans coming down, passing the halfway point. So you see Jeff on the outside lane in the 170 pulls throttle sooner, goes into his slip sooner because Brian Steck can hold the throttle in a little longer and use beta. Jeff is smoking those tires. Will he get it stopped? He does get it stopped. And he's around. This is a fantastic race. Brian may catch up here in a moment, maybe not. Outstanding. Jeff is smoking this run. Let's find out if the turns are good. Turns are good in both lanes. Now remember, don't count Brian out because he does have beta. If he puts it in, let's watch these brakes. Braking, 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 and I have nobody in the audience out there that knows what that means. And he is off with one of our sponsors, Carbon Cub FX3s. As he's off with his bush wheels, looks like he's, I think, running 31s, it looks like from here.
And sunscreen. That's a double.
What's interesting about these bush wheels is that they are a inner tube, a flying inner tube. They're all one part. There is no tire in the tube. There's just a tube with tread on it.
Okay, thanks. Bill, sure.
They are one of our sponsors, Airframes Alaska, one of our supporting sponsors, along with Flight Outfitters, Clemens Aviation, and Sky Cowboy Supply Company, along with our gold title sponsors, which is Cup Crafters, this aircraft that you're seeing demonstrated right now, and Tempest Aero Group, McFarlane Aviation Products, distributing the MT propeller that we're using. 3 of the 4 competitors using beta are using the MT propeller. And Watt, the Whalen Aerospace Technologies, in the tent to the right over there by the STOL pitch, which you'll see when you get down there to visit, to come pick up some stickers. At 2:30 today, bring the kids on over to the STOL Corral. They'd love to visit with you.